Hello and welcome to Low Budget Gaming and welcome to another first Descendant video. So I got a great comment here and I thought this might make for an excellent separate video. So the viewer says here, help players understand how mods affect the Descendant's base stats and how you can maximize them, keeping in mind the differences between additive versus multiplicative, skill powers and modifiers. I wish I understood this sooner. So this is a great one because I still see people getting tripped up by this and trying to make a Crit Freyna or something like that. So let me bring out the calculator and show you some simple calculations which will help clear this out. All right, so I have the calculator on screen here. So let's look at the skill section here first. So you can see we have toxic skill power of 0.632. I don't have any mods installed. This is just from the external components. And we have things like the critical hit rate, critical hit damage, things like that. So how do we have this 0.632? Let's have a quick look here. So if you see the reactor, we have toxic skill power boost ratio of 0.2x right in the skill power boost ratio. So 0.2, that is what we have over here. Now for the 4 pieces of the external components, you see where it says 4 set, you'll see first we have firearm critical hit rate -24, and then you have toxic skill power 43.2%, and in the brackets you see a plus. So this 43.2 will be added to the 0.2. Okay, so 0.432, sorry, forgot to add the symbol, 0.2 plus 0.432. Okay, we have 632. 632. Okay, so this is how we are getting this 632 number here. Now, if you want to add more toxic skill power, we go with toxic skill power, and we have toxic skill power toxic specialist, focus on toxic master. All of them will give you some toxic skill power. So this will give you 81.2. This will give you 77.2 plus some cooldown, and then this one has base skill power and then toxic skill power. So we had 0.632, and then let's say we add this one. Once again, look at the plus sign at the end. Toxic skill power plus 81.2%. Basically, you're going to add this. We put this here, save this, and so this will be plus 0.812, or total is 1.444 for the toxic skill power. Okay, so this is how you would do that. Now let's look at an example for the multiplicative. So we go back here to the mod page. Remove this, and what we have is we had 5% base critical hit rate for Freyna. Now a lot of people try to build Freyna into crit, and it is doable, but it won't be a great option because you lose out on other things. So let me show you why the numbers don't add up. So skill insight, let's say, so this one will give you critical hit rate 115.4%. Notice the multiplication sign at the end, the X. So this is multiplicative. So in other words, what happens is we have base 5%, which we saw. We add this one here. Okay, so this will be 115.4%, but we will be multiplying. So multiply this by 1.154. Okay, so we get 5.77. So that is how much we are adding with the 115.4%. So you add this to the existing 5 we already had, so this will be 10.77. Okay, so let's save this and we will see 10.77. Okay, so you just see the sign at the end of the module, plus or X, and that is how easy it is to understand the difference between additive and multiplicative. Let's do one more example. So I'll show you how you come up with this number. So I have this here, the processor. So on this processor, we have no toxin resistance. We have 13 at the start. Okay, so we have nothing else here. We just have 13, which is pointless. 13 is barely anything. So now if you want to add the toxin resistance, I have this processor here, Plague set, but notice here in the 2 options, I have toxin resistance 3860, which is a plus, and then we have toxin resistance core, the blue one, core 10, 72.9%. So that's a multiplicative. So first we had the 13, we add the 3860. So sorry, what did I do? We have the 13, we add the 3860. So we have 3873. So we start off with 3873 and we multiply this by 0.729. Okay. And we get 2823.417. We add the original number 3873 and we get 6696.417, which is basically what we have over here if we were to add this one. So let's add this and we have 6696.417. So basically this is how you would add. Now notice over here we don't have tech skill power modifier. Okay, so let's do that again. Very simple. We remove this. We have the tech skill power modifier. So what we have is tech specialist. This will give you 76.1. This is additive. We had 0 in that screen. So we add this one. This will be 0.761 over there. 0.761. We want to add, let's say, another mod, so we can put toxic amplification for it. Sorry, tech amplification. So this one is 61.3. So if we add this here, we will be adding the 0.613. So 1.374. 1.374. Okay. So these are additive because you can see at the end it says toxic skill power modifier 76.1. We have the plus sign. We have the plus sign here. And let's see if we have an ancestors module. This one here. So this one has tech skill power boost ratio. And then we have tech skill power modifier and we have the skill cost and things. So both of them are additive. Tech power, we are getting 0.228 and tech skill modifier 629. Okay, so if we see here, we have 335 and 1.374. Okay, so let's go back and let's say we were to add this one here. So we are adding 629 to this one, 0.629. We will have 2.003 for the modifier, 2.003. And then we had, how much did we have for this one here? So 563. So we had 0.335 for the tech power, and we got plus 0.228, 563. Okay. So basically, this is how all the numbers and calculations work. It's either going to be multiplicative, either it's going to be additive. And regarding the Crit Freyna, just wanted to show you something. So if you go to the terminal here and look at a Freyna module, the highest number you can get for Freyna will be in the 2 positive and 1 negative. So this will give you the highest possible crit rate, 336.7. Okay, so Freyna has a base of 5, and then if you multiply this by 3.367, the most you will get is 16.835. So this is why building Freyna for crit is hard, because even if you get the best roll on the best option on the ancestors module, you're only adding another 16.8, less than 17%. And then you'll add 5.77 from the inside, a little bit from the emergency measures and stuff, and you'll end up with maybe close to 30. And so that is why it becomes a little impractical to use Freyna for crit. You can still make it, but you'll miss out on cooldown and range and HP and other things. So that's why people like me, at least, I don't look into building Freyna for crit. Hopefully this was easy to understand. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.